Thank you. Welcome everyone to our fall internship fair and our second and last session of the day featuring non-medical sites in the US. My name is Mika Castillo and I'm the AMTAS president for the remainder of 2023. I am joined by our vice president, Lorena Gonzalezino, and our secretary, Tess Freeland, in this session. So if anyone has any questions throughout the session, please reach out to us. AMTAS is a student organization for students and interns, and our purpose is to promote, foster, and advance the education and training of its members, for example, like through this internship. I will be sending links as people join the event, but please make sure to sign in and download our program for today. I'll go back to it very briefly in case anyone needs it. And again, I'll be sending these in the chat. In this program is a link to a Google Drive that our 45 internship directors have contributed to and have shared their contact info. So once you go into this Google Drive, there is a spreadsheet that looks like this. And it is organized by region, setting, and population. So there you'll be able to access that site's direct folder that includes their info sheet and application and any other things that they submitted. Again, if you have any questions throughout the session, please submit it on our Q&A form or send in the chat. Now I'm going to pass it on to Tess to introduce our first.
Awesome. Thanks, Mika. So welcome back, everyone. We're going to begin our last session of the day featuring non-medical internships sites, starting off with Jennifer Ford from Mary Cariola Center.
Hello. I'm going to share my screen really quickly. I haven't been on Zoom in a while. I hope I get this right. Everybody seeing that okay? All right. Mary Cariola Center is located in Rochester, New York. We are a large agency. We're a center-based agency serving 450 students with complex disabilities and needs. We serve kids who can't be served by their home school districts. So the districts actually will send them to us for their schooling. They can't provide the level of support that the kids require. So they are sent from over 50 school districts in Western New York. Some of our kids come from over an hour away. We each day, and that's in the morning, go home that way at night. So it's pretty, it's clearly a really needed service for people. So we provide skilled nursing services, physical therapy, OT, speech, behavior therapy. We have a counseling team, vision, and each family is also assigned a social worker to both act as a liaison between the school and the family, and also to provide additional access to services outside and in the community. We currently have 5 full-time music therapists on staff, 2 in our preschool program and 3 in school age. And we're actually in the process of bringing in a 6th therapist, so we're growing, to join in the school age team. We provide IEP mandated music therapy services on the individual and small group levels for students who qualify via evaluation. We conduct several of our individual sessions in the co-treatment model with other disciplines, mostly speech and OT, but we also have co-treats with vision and PT and social work. We have students that we see in the Nordhoff-Robbins model. 3 of us received the training, and we conduct several co-treats with other MTs. So we get to do some intradisciplinary co-treating in addition to the interdisciplinary that we do daily. Collaboration is really highly valued at our agency, and a team approach is taken. We have team meetings weekly with the classrooms where everyone meets together to talk about each of the students, and a team approach is taken for any challenges that come up for a student. So really getting a lot of really great minds on something that might be challenging. So all of our preschoolers receive 2 group music therapy sessions a week, and that's in addition to any IEP mandated services they might qualify for. Most of our school age students receive weekly group sessions as well. And these groups would focus on further developing social skills, expressive communication, motor skills, physical, emotional regulation. Some of these sessions would be social song-based groups. Others would be small ensembles like studio bands. We have some drums live groups and some small vocal ensembles in addition to adapted instrument lessons. And I don't know that I spelled out what our students, what sort of population we have. And we have students that it's across the board. We have students who have really significant medical needs, who need a nurse that's within the classroom. Our classrooms are typically between 7 and 8 students, but we have a couple classrooms that are 12 in order to provide the skilled nursing within the classroom setting. Then we have an additional team of skilled nurses that are also on staff. So many of our medically fragile students are able to be seen multiple times a day for tube feeding and tracheotomy care. We also have students who are facing behavioral challenges, emotional, like social and emotional, maybe students who are struggling to communicate and having some kinds of just needs in general that are not able to be served by their districts in their home placements. And then we also hope to provide access to all of the local cultural experiences that we possibly can. So we've established relationships with the Rochester Philharmonic Orchestra and the Rochester City Ballet, the New York State Ballet. They have come to perform for us at Mary Cariola. We have a relationship with the Rochester Philharmonic where they come 4 times a year to come to our school and perform here. And the Rochester City Ballet is performing for us in December. And also they're giving our students and their families access to their performances at reduced rates. So we do a lot with kind of community engagement as well, though it's really difficult for us to get out into the community right now. Oh, okay. We are able to bring people in, which is really, really cool. Internship. Interns at Mary Cariola are with us for the whole school year. So you would start at the beginning of the year in late August with orientation and finish in June. Interns would have 1 primary supervisor out of the 6 of us, but you would work with all of the therapists. So you'd get a lot of experience in observing different styles and kind of picking and choosing what works for you. I actually did my internship at Mary Cariola, so I can speak to the fact that it was really, really awesome to get to have the chance to work with so many different styles. And I could say, okay, that would definitely work for me, but this definitely wouldn't. I don't think I could get away with that. So like that kind of thing. When you're finding your own voice, it can be really helpful to see a lot of different styles. And then, so you'd have the chance to work with all of the therapists and across the age level. So our students are ages 3 through 21, and we would really have you engaging with students across that age spectrum and with students who are in our more active groups and with students who are in our more medically fragile groups. So we'd want to make sure that you had a variety of students you were working with, a variety of staff, a variety of us. And then we consider it really important for our interns to engage in co-treats as well. So participating in interdisciplinary co-treats and intradisciplinary co-treats within our setting. I will not be able to stay for the final. So I wondered if there might be any questions that I could answer quickly before my time is up. I see Acacia.
Yeah, you pronounced that right. Thank you. I was just wondering, since supervision is like 1 out of the 6 of you guys, what is like the general like supervision style you guys have, or if it like varies between you guys?
Yeah, it definitely varies. We have a set supervision schedule where everybody has an hour of scheduled supervision with their specific supervisor once a week, but you would get a lot of written feedback from all of us. I say written, sometimes an intern will say that doesn't work for me. I need like on the fly, tell me what to do and I'll try it again in the next session, that kind of thing. So we really try to make our feedback align with our interns' preferred feedback style. But each of us gives feedback a little bit differently. And so that's kind of, it's a little bit flexible within this kind of standard. You will have that hour weekly of scheduled like one-on-one supervision time. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Sure. Anybody else? So you can go ahead and unmute. Okay. Well, feel free to email me. My email address is jford@marycariola.org, and I'm always happy to answer questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jennifer. That was wonderful. And all right, well, next we have Donna Poland from Roman Music Therapy Services.
Hi. Thanks to AMTAS for organizing this great event. This is really exciting, and I'm happy to be here to share information about the National Roster Internship at Roman Music Therapy Services. I'm going to try and share my screen, and we'll see how this goes. Not my forte. How can I get just the slideshow? Okay, well, we'll just have to, oh, there we go. Okay, so Roman Music Therapy Services is a really unique agency, and I wanted to start by sort of touching on our values, which are part of our culture creed, because I think this really helps inform how the training for the site feels. So these are the 7 points, our values. And transformation. We seek transformation experiences for our clients, our staff, their stakeholders, and the communities in which we work. Community, we create welcoming and inclusive spaces that honor each person's gifts, talents, and potential. Flexibility, we discover creative solutions through continuous problem solving, and it's a collaborative effort all the way throughout the entire team. Integrity, with professionalism and courtesy, we practice integrity, ethical decision-making, and honesty, and we often reference and incorporate the AMTA Code of Ethics in our discussions, both our individual supervision, our small group, and our full team discussions. Growth, guided by an optimistic belief in our staff, clients, stakeholders, and communities, we believe that everyone has the capacity to learn, develop, and grow. And leadership. Everyday leadership encourages all persons to develop leadership skills and explore their own vision for their life. And this extends as well to interns. So we are a community-based contractual agency. We provide services throughout the greater Boston area. The office for RMTS is about a half hour north of Boston in Wakefield, Massachusetts. But we serve communities north of where we are, south of where we are, east, west. We have quite a broad reach. So populations that we serve include babies and toddlers in community programs and early intervention. And you may have heard, some of you, or if you've been looking at our website, about Sprouting Melodies, which is a unique program developed by Meredith Pizzi, the owner of RMTS, and Elizabeth Schwartz. And that's one of the benefits for interns, is to receive training in that program. We serve children and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities, as well as with mental health needs. And we serve older adults with dementia or Alzheimer's and other age-related needs. Sessions occur in lots of places. There is travel involved with this internship. We do see people on site at the Wakefield office. We provide a lot of services in school districts. We provide services in group homes and private homes, and in other settings as well, senior living centers, public libraries, and we also do a lot of public community events which might be information sharing, or they may be actual community music making with members of the community. There is also the opportunity for some virtual music therapy. Of course, we were 100% remote when the world was 100% remote. At this time, there are still some clients that are being seen remotely, not due to COVID restrictions, but due to other sorts of, maybe transportation challenges and things. So there is the possibility for some experience with that as well. So training and supervision opportunities, this is something where I think RMTS really shines, not just for interns, but for everyone on the team. So according to the AMTA national roster guidelines, of course, every intern gets a minimum 1 hour weekly individual supervision with the primary therapist. But we do a lot more than that for the team and for interns. We have bi-weekly small group supervisions. So these groups meet every other Wednesday and Friday for an hour. Each group is facilitated by one of our lead music therapists, Emily Hawley and Billy Janae, who also are the supervising therapists for interns. And this is a time when people bring all kinds of different sorts of clinical topics for discussion. It might be that one of the team members brings a specific case that they're having challenges with and kind of want to get ideas from other therapists on the team of if they've ever had that experience, or just to sort of creatively talk about other options for working with a particular client or group. And it might be something more broad in terms of, have you ever worked with someone with this kind of disability? Or have you ever tried this sort of approach in your work? So very collaborative and sort of a troubleshooting peer supervision opportunity. Then weekly on Friday mornings, we have the Meeting of the Musical Minds, or M3. Always starts out with some sort of administrative updates, but then each week there is a presentation by one of the team members on a variety of clinical and professional topics. And every member of the team takes turns in presenting and also facilitating, and that includes interns. So you get the opportunity to sort of facilitate this group experience during your internship. There's ongoing in-service training with the supervising therapists. Again, I mentioned Emily and Billy. On clinical skills and session management, other topics that might come up in your individual supervision with your primary supervisor. Periodic in-service training with myself as the internship director, as well as our faculty supervisors and clinical coordinator. So our faculty supervisors are myself, Andrea Dalton, Dr. DeForia Lane, and Angie Snell. And interns can schedule in-service training with any of the four of us on special topics such as trauma-informed care, medical music therapy, clinical improvisation, professional identity development, ethical questions, whatever is of interest or something you really want to kind of delve a little more deeply into. And then also as part of the internship, each intern does a case study presentation and a final project. So the case study might be on an individual client you're working with or a group. It's your choice who you focus on for this, and we provide some guidance, but it's very much your project. And then the final project is even more broad. It can be maybe you've worked with a client that has a very rare sort of genetic disorder and you want to delve much more deeply into that information, or maybe it's something dealing with a particular model of music therapy that you want to focus on more deeply, or an area of research that's sort of up and coming in the field that you want to get further into, or it might be a project where you want to do a community advocacy project. So it's really open. It can be we want you to be selfish with it and use this process to really sort of go deeply into something that is of great meaning for you. Both of these, the case study and the final project, are also presented to the full team at an M3 near the end of the internship. The application process, you submit an online application. You can go to our website, Roman Music Therapy. Everything is there. So the application form is there. We also ask for you to include your resume. We have several essay questions that we want you to answer and submit with all of that. And we do require transcripts and then the 3 letters of recommendation, one of which is also a letter of eligibility from your academic program director. And then once all your materials are in, you start with an initial Zoom meeting just with me so we can sort of talk in more detail about the agency and the internship and find out if you're feeling like this would be a good fit for you. And if so, then the opportunity is there to progress to the on-site visit. I went too far. So the on-site visit, typically we like you to come and spend a day so you can see what it would be like to be a member of this team. It includes a group interview with the supervising therapists, myself, and our clinical coordinator, Angie Snell. We make sure that you observe at least one, if not a couple of sessions while you're there. And there is a live in-person audition, and I'll give you a little bit more about that on the next slide. Depending on the scheduling, we do love it if people can come on a Friday, so you get to participate in an M3 and meet the whole team and really get a sense of a full day experience at our MTS. And then following all of that, you and I would wrap up again in a private Zoom meeting. I do work remotely. I am in Rochester, New York. I am not there in Wakefield. I visit when I can, but for the internship application process, my participation likely will all be by Zoom.
Hey, Donna.
Yes.
I'm sorry. We need to unfortunately move on to our next presenter. Thank you so much.
I didn't get any warnings.
I'm sorry. I was holding them up. I'm so sorry about that. But is it possible for you to share your email in the chat as well, and all of that? I'm so sorry. Thank you so much.
I will be here for the Q&A as well.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much, Donna. And next we also have Rebecca Kittleson from Frisco.
Hi, let me just share my screen quick. Okay, I'm so excited to present to you guys about Frisco Independent School District today. We're located in Frisco, Texas, which is in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. This is our full team. We are so lucky to have 4 full-time music therapists on staff. Kaylin Johnston is our internship director. She's right here if you want to know what she looks like. She wasn't able to come today. We also have Misty Whittington, Amanda Salyer, and myself. At Frisco, we really follow our district vision and our district mission statement. This really is how we plan our sessions and how we go about doing music therapy with our kiddos. So our vision is that students will be empowered to pursue their passion and purpose. We really want all of our students, gen ed or special education, to leave high school with the skills and tools necessary to move on to whatever their next goal is, whether that is to go to post-secondary education, get a job, live at home, live on their own, whatever it is, we want to support that. And then our mission at our district is to know every student by name and need. We feel that that's very important because the more you know your students, the better you can serve them. Frisco ISD is a very large district. Our elementary schools serve about 700 plus students. Our middle schools are serving about 800 to 1,000 students, and our high schools serve up to 2,100 students. And overall, we have more than 66,000 students enrolled in Frisco ISD currently. We have 12 high schools, 18 middle schools, 1 intermediate school, 43 elementary schools, and 3 special program schools. I've included our website here if you want to go look up more district information. For our program model for music therapy, we offer direct services and indirect services. Our direct services are one-on-one with our IEP kiddos that have music therapy on their IEP. They've gone through a music therapy assessment. They've qualified for services. This is where the music therapist is really supporting all the instructional goals that we've tagged onto based on our evals. We also use this as an opportunity to provide additional information, recommendations, songs, materials to classroom teachers as well. And the time that we serve each student is really dependent upon what we saw in our evaluation. So some students we see weekly, some we see bi-weekly, and some students we only see monthly. We also offer our indirect services, which is our consult-based model. This is where the music therapists collaborate with the instructional staff on identified areas of need. We provide them multimedia, songs, recordings, materials, whatever they need to implement skills in the classroom. This allows for more opportunities of generalization for these students because we're not pulling them out of their least restrictive environment. We're letting them have more social opportunities with peers and more educational opportunities this way. And it's where our instructional staff is really the one implementing this, and we're just supporting behind the scenes. Something that makes Frisco so unique is we also offer our educational enrichment model, which we call our programmatic music therapy. So for these sessions, IEPs don't have music therapy on them. We're just serving them as an extra benefit. The district feels that music therapy is very important and they want to serve as many students as possible. This also helps us cut down on the amount of evaluations that we have each year. So we're seeing more students for music therapy without the additional evals necessary. So these are all group-based sessions to all of our centralized programs. These sessions are designed specifically for each class type, and I'll go over those class types in a minute. There's a large focus on group cohesion and social skills and communication with these classes. And then because there's no IEP that we're bound to in these situations, we get to incorporate leisure development, coping skills, and other kind of things that we don't always get to address. For our class types, we serve ages 3 to 21. We have our early childhood special education classes. At our early childhood school, we currently have 2 music therapists that go serve those classes there. They're seen on a bi-weekly basis. We have our structured learning classrooms, which take up the bulk of our caseload. These are seen at the elementary level weekly, and at the middle school level, we see them monthly. Our active learning classrooms for elementary are bi-weekly, and middle and high school are also bi-weekly. Life skills classes, we see elementary level bi-weekly and the middle school level monthly. And then our last class type is our SAIL classes, which is social and interpersonal learning. And we only see the elementary level bi-weekly. Some of the more details about our site: it's a Monday to Friday internship. Your hours would be 8 to 4:30. You get your holidays and your weekends off. You'll start end of July during our new hire week, and then go through just about until when spring break is in the school district. So in that time, there's a few Monday and Friday holidays that you would have off, a whole week at Thanksgiving, 2 to 2.5 weeks at Christmas, depending on how the district calendar falls. And then another question we get asked a lot is, how many campuses would you visit a day? It kind of varies depending on your caseload and which supervising therapist you're with that day. It's averages about 2 to 4 campuses a day, averaging about 5 to 7 sessions a day. And we try to do that to allow for ample office time so that you have time for planning, documentation, collaborating with the team and other disciplines, time to practice, time to gather instruments, time to answer emails, all of that admin stuff. You have plenty of office time available to you. For supervision, you'll have a 1 hour scheduled every week with Kaylin. And then depending on which days you're with which other supervising therapist, you'll have supervision time built into those days with them as well, whether that's right after sessions, maybe at lunchtime or at the end of the day. So there's lots of opportunities for supervision as well. And that is all. So I have our contact info here. We have our phone number for Kaylin. And then I put Kaylin's and my email here. Kaylin is in the process of legally changing her last name because she just got married. So if her email kicks back to you, you can email me instead. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Becca. Is Tiffany here or anyone from Expressive Therapies? All right, let's go to Christina Ebersol from Able Arts Work.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me here. Let me go ahead and share our flyer really quick. All right, so mine's going to be nice and quick here. So we are Able Arts Work based out of Southern California. Our main office is in Long Beach, and we have 3 other day programs, 2 in Hawthorne, California. So the 2 locations in Hawthorne and Long Beach are about 30 minutes apart. They're very close. And then our newest program is in San Diego. So who is Able Arts Work? We are a nonprofit organization started back in 1982 by Helen Dulles. She is a music therapist herself. And this is a nonprofit organization where we provide mainly music therapy, but also creative arts therapy services to individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, mostly adults. We do serve a small, we do something on the side, it's called the clinic, and we go to schools to provide music therapy for school-age children, but our main internship is with adults with developmental disabilities. We are very much rooted in the humanistic person-centered approach, and along with music therapy, we also have art therapy. We provide music, dance, and movement instruction, so not necessarily therapy. Sometimes if we get, sometimes we have movement therapists or drama therapists or theater, and we also do a lot of visual media, digital arts. Currently, one of our biggest things that we've been working on is called Artbeat Radio, and we are on all of the live, like Spotify, all of the podcast channels, and all of our service users and our clients. They come up with content, they make videos, they make podcasts, and it's very person-centered. And you can actually check that out on YouTube if you just type in Artbeat Radio, and you get to see a lot of fun content there. So our internship is in person. We offer twice a year, once in January, once in July, and those dates are not like set in stone. So if you need to start a little end of January or beginning of February, or end of July, beginning of August, we're very flexible, but it's twice a year around that time. Population is adults with intellectual disabilities, and most of the day you'll be doing groups, maybe a few one-on-one sessions. Our day is 8:30 to 3:30, Monday through Friday. And we basically have 3 sessions throughout the day. So each person is in charge of 2 to 3 sessions, and those could be groups or one-on-one. And as an intern, one of the biggest projects that you'll be doing is a case study, which happens midway through the end of your internship. And so that's going to be like a bulk of one of the biggest projects that you'll be doing during your internship. Let's see. You'll get your holidays off. Oh, and there's a stipend of 10 grand. And let's see, you'll be receiving your supervision weekly. Sometimes we might have more than one intern at a time. So with that, there's also peer supervision and opportunities to work together. One of the fun things about our organization is that, we don't only have music therapists, we have music therapists, music instructors, drama instructors, art therapists. So you'll get a chance to be exposed to different modalities and be able to work together with them and collaborate. We also, like the 2 locations in Hawthorne, they're literally like 2 blocks away. So there's a lot of collaboration that also happens within those two programs. So that's always really fun to see our clients working together. let's see. Oh, another thing is a lot of our interns, after they complete their internship, we provide them a job opportunity as long as they're in good standing with the internship. So that usually most of our interns, they stay with us, and it's kind of a nice springboard into the professional world. I hope you can see, but the link to the application is right here where it says apply now. If you go there, there'll be a little link that you can press for the application. Currently, it's not up right now because we just closed our application for January, but we will reopen our application for the July term of 2024 in March 1st up till April 15th. So you have about 6 weeks to complete your application. And on the bottom here where it says contact us, if you can see it, that's the email address and our website you can go to. Ask any questions if you have. This email comes directly to me. So if you have any questions about the application process, sometimes we have some technical issues. Yeah, anything, just shoot me an email. I will troubleshoot that for you. And one last thing is, if you really want to know more about Able Arts Work, the best place to go is our YouTube channel. We have 2 different YouTube channels. You can just type in Able Arts Work. There's a virtual channel. This was something that we did during the pandemic. As soon as the doors closed, we completely went virtual, and all of our content, the stuff that we were doing with our clients, we made videos for them, so that our clients were able to continually receive services on their own. So you'll see a lot of our music therapists, art instructors, like the things that we like to do with our clients there, that's on our virtual channel. And then we have our just Able Arts Work YouTube channel that has the Art Beat Radio, which is fresh new content that's uploaded each week, and some of our older videos of our service users and our clients. So yeah, I think that is it. Any questions? All right.
I have a question,
Oh,
sorry.
yes.
Hi, I'm Alexandra.
Hi.
I was just wondering if we are able to see the application before March 1st to get a head start.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So currently we're kind of revamping things a little bit. We're going to change that, make it a little bit more user friendly. So once we do that, it's going to be up before March for sure. So you'll be able to see all the documents that you need. But just to give you a heads up, here are just few things. Obviously you need your transcript, you need your letter of reference, the general things. I would definitely have those already ready. But yes, I'll definitely have that website up before March.
Perfect. Sure. Thank you.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Christina.
Thank you.
Yeah. And next we'll have Mary Landaker from Lakemary Center School.
And hello, I'm waiting for screen sharing, please. Thank you. Okay. My name is Mary Jane Landaker, and it is Mary Jane. And I am pleased to be here today to talk to you about Lakemary Center and the music therapy program that we have there. Feel free to type chat messages as you're going through here. I can keep up pretty well. Lakemary Center School is a school inside of a, it's really hard to explain. Lakemary Center is a facility that works with persons with intellectual and developmental disabilities across the age range. The facility itself was started in 1969 when the Ursuline sisters, who had a big presence in our town of Paola, Kansas, looked around and thought, we need to find some educational opportunities, and who is an underserved population? And in 1969, there weren't many people who were providing special education services in rural Kansas. And so the Ursuline sisters, along with the city of Paola, Kansas, got together to develop Lakemary Center. Our first clients were children from various areas around Paola, which is a small rural community, which is about 20 miles south of the Kansas City metro area. And there were lots and lots of children with developmental diagnoses who were not being served in education at that time. And so Lakemary started off as a boarding school for these children in a variety of different places and ways. They came to us in very, very different ways. And as those children grew, so did Lakemary. And so Lakemary Center ended as it is now, currently serves children and adolescents ages 5 to 22 in our school setting, which I am a part of, but also serves persons with intellectual and developmental disabilities across the age span. And as our clients have aged, as our clients have matured, as our funding sources have changed, we have also changed. Our music therapy department started in 1972 and has been present on campus in the education program ever since. Current internship program started in 1998. Here's a couple of pictures of my big, beautiful music therapy space. We have a suite of music therapy rooms, including 2 large storage office areas and our very, very nice, brightly colored, decorated by our art therapist music therapy treatment room. The internship program itself has rotating start dates. I typically accept interns on January, March, June, and either September or October. We have a 7-month schedule because it is a 1,020-hour internship program at Lakemary Center, but we are a school setting, so there are very, very generous vacation times, as some of the other presenters have discussed. When you're in a school setting, you get spring break, you get winter break, you get summer breaks. We have a year-round school, so we can accommodate interns through the summer months. During summer months, we work 4 days a week, which is absolutely wonderful because you get that Friday off every single week. We do not offer a stipend. We do not offer housing assistance. However, we do offer breakfast and lunch daily to our interns. It is cafeteria food and it is school cafeteria food. So lots of my interns opt not to eat what we have, but many of my interns have also opted to take advantage of that one thing that we can provide. There was a question in the non-medical or in the medical setting about assignments, and my interns do 1 assignment per month. Their assignments are based on the AMTA professional competencies and are specifically targeted and focused towards the intern's future plans. So we currently have 3 different study tracks that my interns choose from. The first is research. So if somebody is interested in going into graduate school, research is something that you're going to need to do in graduate school. The second is private practice. A lot of my interns are moving back to areas similar to Paola where there aren't many music therapists to begin with. And so private practice is an appropriate choice for their futures. And then the last is content creation for someone like me who wants to work at a facility, but also wants to provide opportunities for sharing information around the music therapy world and community. All of our services are educational enrichment services. None of my students have IEP-based services. And this means that I get to see every single one of our currently 73 students for an hour a week in large group classroom settings. In addition, we offer adaptive music therapy, we offer adaptive music lessons, we offer individual sessions, we offer dyad sessions. The school is part of the psychiatric residential treatment facility, where we have currently, I believe, 53 students who are living with us full time. They come to us from all over the country and require specific programming that we can offer. Our clientele have, in addition to their intellectual and developmental disability, students who come to the Lakemary Center School also have chronic psychiatric diagnoses and issues. usually rooted in childhood trauma of some sort. And so we work with a very diverse group of human beings who come to us with vast numbers of experiences, learned experiences, and music experiences as well. And so because this is a psychiatric residential treatment facility for 53 of our clients, the music therapy department focuses more on psychosocial goals, social emotional learning, providing opportunities for appropriate expressions of emotion, and working on communication of wants and needs during all of our music therapy sessions. And then our number one goal that we're always working on is impulse control with our clientele. Every intern that I've had has stated at the end, when they moved on to their future, that Lakemary was a pretty good preparation for whether they wanted to go into special education or psychiatric settings, because most of them would say nothing happens at my new job that I haven't already seen. And so if you're thinking about going into a future of psychiatric treatment or in a future of special education, Lakemary might be a good place for you to experience a lot of things you might not necessarily get at other facilities. My contact information is here. I prefer to be contacted via email at mylakemarycenter.org message, and that is present on the fact sheet, which is part of the Google Drive that is there. And then once you send me your email to let me know, I will send you the most recent version of the fact sheet that we have. We constantly are updating our fact sheet. And so that will be sent to you. And then I will also send you the link to the application. All of the application materials are clearly delineated in the fact sheet. And so if you have any questions, feel free to contact me at the email address that is here. You can also check out our website at lakemary.org. And then there's the link again to that Google Drive folder that contains the information from Lakemary. So thank you so much for AMTAS for hosting this and for giving us an opportunity to talk. And I believe I'm the last presentation. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mary. And now we'll go ahead and move into our Q&A time. So feel free to either unmute, send a question in the chat, or we have our Google form in the chat that you can submit questions there.
Hi, I'm Lexi. I have a general question for all of the internship directors, and that is how do I want to word this? Who do you like, or who would you recommend students asking for letters of recommendations? Like, who should they ask, aside from obviously their director who writes the eligibility letter?
I'll jump in here. Aside from that, we typically ask for at least one of the other letters to be from another music therapy faculty. And then the third one we leave open. It can be another faculty, any faculty, or it could be a former or current employer. But we leave that third one open for interns to choose, but we want the program director and then at least one other music therapy faculty person.
Thank you.
I have pretty much two questions for like music therapy internships in general. Question one, if you want to work with a certain population, do you have to have an internship with that population? Example, if you wanted to work with cancer patients, would you have to apply for an internship at like a cancer research institute?
This is Mary Jane, and basically no, it kind of helps you during the job process if you do have some experience with your population that you are applying for, but not necessarily.
And okay, thank you. And my next question is, now I remember like one of the other presenters in this session, saying that we have to do an audition for our music therapy internship. Now, what exactly do we have to do for the audition? And can it be in person, or can it be like a recorded audition?
I was just starting to talk about the audition for Roman music therapy services when I ran out of time. So maybe that was me. And every place is going to be different in what they request and require. So I think you need to, Mary Jane is saying hers has to be in person. Ours is required to be in person as well, because there's a lot of interactive musicking that we want to see how applicants facilitate that. But every place is going to be different with what they expect and what they require. I would just say in general, if you're able to go in person to any of the sites that you're interviewing for, it's really important, because you're basically going to be living with both the therapists and the clients you're working with, in a sense, and to see if it really feels right for you, because we're interviewing applicants, but you're interviewing us as well.
Got it. Thank you.
And I thoroughly agree, Donna. Everybody has different expectations and requirements for what they want interns to be able to do. I plunk my applicants down in a group that they have selected from a pool of descriptions, and applicants have to run a therapeutic music experience with a group full of strange clients. And they have to lead about 10 minutes of a session, because I want to see, can you sit in front of a group of my kids and have some sort of therapeutic interaction with them, even though you don't know who they are really well. Because if you can do that in 10 minutes with somebody who's critiquing you, sitting there with the group, then chances are pretty good you're going to be able to handle anything my clients can dish out during your time with me.
All right, then. Thank you all. That's all my questions.
Perfect. Thank you for your questions, Jimmy. If anyone else has questions, feel free to still unmute, drop them in the chat.
We have a question from our Google form. Internship directors, for any students that you have coming out of state for your site, could you share a bit about how their experiences have been, what different challenges did they face, and any words of encouragement or advice if they're traveling out of state for your site?
Yes, I'll jump in again. The majority of my students have been out of state, and from what they have told me over the years, their biggest challenge has been finding housing close to our facility. We are 20 minutes away from a large metro area, and so they can find housing there really easily, but within our town limits, it's a little bit more difficult to do. Interns sometimes feel very lonely because you are uprooting yourself and moving to a completely brand new space. And so finding that connection with people outside of your internship program is sometimes challenging as well. But you can find ways to provide you with some of that interaction if that's something that you're seeking and needing. This is something that I think that's a great question. I think it's very important that you talk to current interns or people who are right now entering the profession to find out what their experiences are. Because as an internship director, I have my experience, but that's very different from what my interns go through on a regular basis. And one of the things that I recommend is that if you do make it to an interview or an audition at a particular facility, that you then ask if you can talk to the current interns and have a chance to just sit down with them and find out, ask those questions and ask those things specifically to those interns, because they can give you some insight that your internship director may have never thought of.
Thank you, Mary Jane. I'll also just do like a little self plug for AMTAS. We offer scholarships throughout the year, including our Students Taking Action reward, Students Taking an Active Role scholarships, which includes an AMTAS internship stipend. These scholarships open in the summer and they close on September 15th every year. So if you are an intern that has an overlapping track during this scholarship date, please feel free to save our website link and keep the date in mind, and follow us on social media to stay on top of when that scholarship will be. It can be super helpful if you're going out of state. And I also just want to echo Mary Jane and what you were saying and trying to make connections. I didn't go out of state for my internship, but I was the only intern for the entirety of my internship, which can also be a challenge. So I would just really encourage students trying to stay in touch with their cohort from your program, or reaching out to different interns or music therapy students in the area. There is a peer support network on Instagram. This is open to all creative therapy disciplines, dance, music, art, and such. So they host monthly support groups. So if you would like to be involved with that, we can send their information in the chat as well. And you can also continue being involved with AMTAS, reach out to us, and we can try to connect you all and maybe create more events fostered in supporting interns in that way. Any other questions for our incredible directors?
Should reference letters be personalized to each site that you're applying to? Okay, thank you.
Actually, I just have this one last question that just crossed my mind. Now, you have mentioned that some internship sites do provide stipends, but if you're someone from out of state, do internships provide any housing of some kind, or like for interns?
It depends. Again, every site is different. Some sites provide stipends, some don't. Some have housing, some don't. Mary Jane was saying they have breakfast and lunch. So again, you have to sort of do your exploration and make sure you know what the sites you're considering are able to provide to help support. I would also just follow up a little bit on what Mika was saying about scholarships. You may also want to check with your regional associations, because I know some of the regions, if not all, also provide internship scholarships for students. I know the Mid-Atlantic region does, for example. So there may be multiple opportunities to sort of access different funding streams for support.
Got it. Thank you.
Also on our AMTAS master list, that first tab where it's organized by region, all of our internship directors have included any types of benefits that they offer, including housing, stipends, reimbursement, meal vouchers. So if you can find out information about their site there as well. Any other questions or comments for our directors? I know we're a bit ahead of time, but because of that, we have more time if anyone has anything else to ask. Tiffany is also here. Tiffany, if you want to, if no one has any questions, I would love to give you the floor to briefly introduce yourself.
Sure, I'm so sorry. Time zones, it's right in the email, Eastern. Okay, well, I'm Tiffany. I'm from Expressive Therapies in Appleton, Wisconsin. Appleton is about, if you're familiar with Milwaukee, or Green Bay, the Packers. Woohoo, we won today. We're about an hour south of Green Bay, about an hour and a half north of Milwaukee. And we are a private practice. We have 8 music therapists, and we also have 4 art therapists. So during your internship, you'll be working under and learning from several music therapists, as well as getting experience collaborating with our art therapists. We have individual and groups, and some of our individual and groups are just music therapy, and some are just art therapy, and then some are combination sessions. So there's a lot of variety of and experience in collaborating with our art therapists too. We service all ages and various disabilities, but we primarily, I would say 75% of our population is autistic, and about 75% is like that age 5 to 18 range. We also do see quite a few people with mental health issues, depression and anxiety, and we also, as far as the length of our internship, we offer a 7-month internship, and with the expectation that interns will take time for self-care or be able to go home for an extended holiday, or have extra days for sick time. So there's not that stress of trying to get everything in that 6-month period. And that's just a little quick overview of expressive therapies.
Thank you, Tiffany, and thank you for sharing your website on the chat. No worries. We're very grateful that you're able to be a part of this internship fair. We have a question about overseas internships. I've been told that this is a special opportunity that needs to be worked on with your program director for contract purposes. They definitely exist, but that's really all the information that I know. So if any directors can jump in and discuss this more. If you know more about the process, or if a list of overseas internships sites exists, if you could jump in. My next bet would be to check out the World Federation of Music Therapy as well and reach out to them. They have representatives by country or in region of the entire world. So if there's this particular area that you're wanting to seek out music therapy opportunities, I would suggest reaching out there. Donna, I saw you unmuting as well if you have anything to add.
Yeah, I think it is a matter of working with your academic program director, and also connecting with the therapist that you may want to train with, and see if they are willing to initiate a special sort of affiliation for that purpose.
Awesome. Do we have, thank you all for all of your questions. Do we have any more questions before I pass it to Mika to do some announcements? You can just feel free to unmute or just drop in the chat. All right. I'm not seeing any more questions. Go ahead, Mika. And thank you so much for all of your questions and answers today, all the presenters and internship directors.
Yeah, thank you all so much. Again, we have our internship director's contact info in our master list, so please check that out. I'll just have you all for a couple more moments to share some more announcements for AMTAS. Again, I'd like to thank everyone that was involved with this internship fair: Veronica, our AMTA clinical training consultant, for contacting our interdirectors for recruitment, Andrea Dalton, who's our AMTA vice president, for creating the Zoom registration link and assisting us with setting up the event, our AMTAS co-advisors, Dr. Adrian Steiner-Brett and Dr. Ginny Driscoll, as well as our AMTAS liaison and AMTA president-elect, AMTA president next year, Angie Snell. who was with Roman Music Therapy Services, and our regional student boards for their support of and assistance with promoting this event. All 45 internship directors, including the 12 on our panel today, that contribute to our internship Google folder and gave up time today to be a part of our internship fair. We hope that we are able to host this event again more consistently, at least once a year, but maybe even more so, just because of the positive responses we got this first round. I truly would love to give my gratitude to our AMTAS executive board for hosting and promoting this, especially right after passages. This was a really quick turnaround and a last minute thing that we did, but I'm so grateful that we did and just really thankful for their time and hard work. And then to all of you music therapy students and interns for your support of AMTAS and for coming out to this internship fair. I hope that this was helpful. And if this is your first time here with us, I hope this is a starting relationship with you and AMTAS and that we can continue to support you throughout your music therapy journey. Like we have mentioned throughout this internship fair, we have a comprehensive Google folder with all 45 internship sites, including the info packets, applications, and any additional information that they had submitted, all in one folder. They're organized A through Z. It looks like this. And then there's a master list here at the bottom. So if you click that, you'll get an organization of the sites by region with links to their folders, their contact information, location, types of setting, populations they work with, start dates and deadlines, as well as benefits. And then they're also organized by setting and population. So go ahead and check that out. This will be updated at least annually, maybe each internship fair that we do, but stay tuned. We do have AMTAS merge out. This will help us continue providing more scholarships for students throughout the year. So please consider supporting AMTAS or even your music therapy students or interns with some AMTAS merch on our Etsy, etsy.com/shop/AMTAS. And then lastly, ways to stay in touch with AMTAS, and if you have any feedback from this event, please reach out to us on our social media. You can find all of our contact information, including more event announcements, our incredible blogs on our AMTAS website. And then if you have any direct questions or comments for us, please reach out to me at president.amtas@gmail.com. So thank you all again for joining us for our first internship fair since 2021. We hope that we can again continue providing events like this for you all and hope you have a great week. Thank you all and have a great evening.
Thank you.